What's up, YouTube? How y'all doing? Today I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be about some of kind of what's been going on in the world. Just kind of giving my thoughts. Some of it's been in the news, some of it not so much. Some of it you have to kind of research a little bit, and they're not talking a lot about it. But some of them they are. Some of it's in the news, and I'm just gonna kind of give my thoughts and opinions on what's been going on. But if you like what you see, or like the content, just do the YouTube stuff, help me out. This channel's sponsored by y'all, the viewers, the subscribers. I don't have any other sponsors telling me what to say or, giving me any money for anything, so just help me out and just hit that subscribe, do it, if you're feeling up to it. Anyway, first item is Israel's attack, or Iran's attack on Israel, and how that affects us. At the moment, it doesn't. But it does, because now Iran's threatening Israel or any of their allies that if they retaliate, then it's going to be even worse. And it's like, it's one of those things where I can pick on you, but you can't do anything back, kind of thing. They're like, but it's just kind of, I think it's going to be. And Israel is already planning their retaliation attack, and if they do, it could escalate this thing into a full-on world war. And then you've got also the Russia-Ukraine war that's been going on for a long time, and and now Russia's kind of like joining forces with Iran, so it's going to be Russia against Iran, or Russia and Iran eventually against the rest of the world and whoever else. China's probably going to end up being on that side too. Kitty, what are you doing? Sorry, got a kitty here rubbing my deal. Yeah, I know, you want attention. Sorry about that. Kitty thinks she's more important. She needs to be jumping in the video. But anyway, I think it's going to end up being pretty bad. So I don't really have a whole lot of information on it. I just know that it could escalate into a full-on world war pretty soon. And things are going to get rough. So, and who knows what's going to happen as far as like they're reopening the draft, sending our kids, our military age kids, off to war. Mine are still fairly young enough that they may not need to, but you never know. But anyway, next one is some of these church shootings and church stabbings. They're like going after, and that kind of goes with mass shootings. It's like mass shootings are constantly going on, or at least what they call mass shootings. They're just always, they're getting worse and worse. And they're starting to hit churches now. It's like they planned certain different things, but right now they're hitting churches. And that's probably why you don't hear them a whole lot, is because they're hitting churches. And, doesn't really help their agenda, but it's kind of leading into the war on Christianity. If you're a follower of Christ or giving some kind of a Christian message, that kind of makes me fear going to church. But I know they're hitting most of the big ones, a lot of the big mass churches. But I know kind of helps keep me from going to church sometimes, and keep me out of these big places, these big crowds of people, because it's like, there was that one in Kansas City after the Super Bowl. That's been a while, and it just makes me want to avoid even going anywhere, but You know, you still got to live. You can't live in fear. You still got to live. You still got to go. But just be strapped when you can. Be protected. Be alert. Be aware of your situation and your surroundings. And I think all of this is kind of leading into my next topic, which all of this is kind of leading into the pandemic 2.0. I don't know what exactly that's going to be, if it's going to be like disease X or whatever, but pandemic 2.0 is going to be something where, you know, and it could just be rioting in the streets. It could be, you know, who knows? It could be war on our soil, so everybody has to stay inside. Nobody can go anywhere. It could be whatever. I don't know. I'm sure they're planning something because it is an election time. Sorry, alarm went off. Time to wake up. It is an election year, election season, and sort of thing happened last election time when the George Floyd hoax riots and the BLM and all that stuff came out, and you know, they just used George Floyd as their excuse, but it was all planned. And you know, if you don't, you know, my thoughts is just all of a sudden a big old random pile of bricks ends up out in the middle of the street because they knew there was going to be a protest coming along that night, and all of a sudden there's pallets of bricks all over the road. How's that happen? It's planned. You know, it was planned, and it was just, you know, and things are going to be like that this election time, especially with the people that are in the election, you know. And I don't think it matters who wins. I really don't. Because there's enough. Because if Biden wins, everybody's going to be, he cheated, and it's going to get rough, and everybody's going to be mad, and we're going to be battles and wars and fighting, and the world war is going to go. He's going to keep trying to war on our guns. He's going to keep trying to take our guns, which could lead into Civil War Part 2. Which is another topic for I'll talk about here in a few minutes. And if Trump wins, there's enough Trump haters out there that they're just going to freak out again, and they're just going to, you know, the world's ending. Trump's in office, and I mean, I don't think Trump did a horrible job. Yeah, he was loud, he was obnoxious, he was, you know, whatever. But the stuff I care about, he did good. You know, some of that I don't care. I speak your mind. That's, you know, don't put up with anybody's crap. That's common sense there, you know. And nobody liked him just because he was against the establishment. And that's why a lot of both sides are turning against him, because he was against traditional politicians, and they're in there for themselves. They're in there. They're corrupt. All of them, both sides. It doesn't matter. They're two different wings on the same bird. They're both, you know, it doesn't matter what side they're on. Republicans, Democrats, you know, on TV, they fight each other. They battle. But behind the scenes, they're all partying together. They're all going to lunch together. They're all, you know, behind the scenes are all best buddies. You know, the Republicans and the Democrats, they're just, after cameras are off and after sessions are over, they're off doing their thing together. But anyway, again, my opinion, that's not based on any facts. That's just, you know, I've just heard a few people that from the inside talk about that. So it's, you know, but like I said, all this is just kind of my opinion. Like I said, I'm not basing any of this on any kind of facts. But it doesn't matter who wins. I mean, I've even been hearing that that they're talking about they're not going to allow the election to happen. Something's going to happen. Like, for instance, the war or whatever, the pandemic 2.0. They're going to have some kind of thing that's going to cause them to not have the election, and that's going to, you know, another all hell break loose. You know, it's going to be bad whoever wins, or whatever happens this November. everything, it doesn't matter. It's gonna be bad. One side's gonna be pissed off if one side wins. One side's gonna be pissed off if the other side wins. One side, another side that's gonna be pissed off if they don't have an election. So I mean, I think most of the people are gonna be mad if they don't have an election, because I think a vast majority of people want Biden out. He's doing a horrible job. Economy sucks. Inflation is through the roof. Taxes are outrageous. Gas prices are outrageous. He's coming up with these stupid holidays for, coming up with these stupid whatever. I mean, I'm not going to get into any of that, but he thinks he can just do what he wants in there, and he's going to keep coming after our guns. And it's getting worse and worse, and they're slowly starting to win that gun control battle. I don't think it's going to happen, but, they're slowly winning it by making it harder to get ammo, or by, they may not, like I said, they may not be able to get our guns, but if we can't feed those guns, if they take the food from those guns away, what good are they? So I hope you're stockpiling ammo while you can. That way you've got it. And magazines, especially high capacity standard load magazines. For those of you that are in good states, the 30 round AR, 30 round AKs, stockpile those. They're cheap enough. They're like $10 for the store I go to, that they're amend to, which are pretty good. They may not be the best. I don't care what the best is, but they work. They run. Start getting them while you can. Buy ammo. Every paycheck, try and budget in some ammo, or try and budget in some. Oh, sorry, it's kind of early. I'll drink some coffee. Yes, I know that's not coffee, that's Mountain Dew, but it's my coffee. I drink it. That's what I call it. That's what I drink is coffee. Cause says me, my opinion, stuff has as much caffeine as coffee, but it tastes way better. I'm not a big fan of the taste of coffee. I've tried it. Okay, I'm not just saying it's coffee. I've tried coffee, and no matter how much you try and drown it, how much milk, how much cream, how much sugar, how much, you can still taste the coffee. But anyway, different topic, different time. Not going to get into that, because I know there's a lot of coffee lovers out there, and that's fine. Totally. Do your thing. Anyway, Civil War. Dude, let's talk about that for a minute. I think, and this is just me, I mean, this is just my thoughts. Nobody's said anything about this that I know of. Nobody, but we're already technically in a civil war. We're already it's just a Cold War right now. It's a cold Civil War. And that's how I was talking about the one side, anti-gun, there's a war on, there's a civil war already going on. It's just not cold. It's just not hot yet. I think they're planning it. I think they're trying to figure out how to do it and get people on their side, because, I mean, on one side, you've got the conservatives, the 2As, the pro-life, the freedoms. And then you've got, on the other side, those that are trying to take those freedoms away. Or, and I'm not trying to be any kind of discriminative here, but you've got the trans and the gays and the really left-wing liberal snowflake people over here that on one side against what they call, which isn't necessarily the case, but they call them racist, white supremacists, us gun-toting, white supremacy, terrorists, domestic terrorists with all your guns. And you've got the two sides, and they're just, they're battling. right now it's just cold. It's just a cold war. It's just a cold side. You know, the one side wants us to, you know, they're demanding that we have the same beliefs as them, and this side's demanding that we get to keep our ways, and and it's like, if one side, if we don't agree with one side, we're racist, we're bigots, we're homophobes, we're white supremacists, we're terrorists, we're whatever. And if we don't agree with them, you're just trying to take our guns. And it's, I mean, one side though, this side is, and that's probably more of the side I'm on, to be honest with you, the white supremacist side. Oh my goodness. But you think what you want. I don't care. I know what I am. I know what I'm not. Think what you want. Yeah, I'm white. But there's no privilege here. I work my ass off to get what I want. And I'm struggling. So there's no white privilege here. Sometimes it's like, life sucks. It's hard. It's hard to make it. It's hard to live. It's hard to, you just don't know when something's going to happen. You're walking around. There's no white privilege here. And white supremacists, there's no white supremacy here. That's a phrase I hear from a long time. I'm not racist. I hate everybody the same. Doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't. If you're good people, you're good people. If you're not, you're not. A lot of these younger generations that just got so entitled that, and they think their way is the only way. These non-binary people that, heaven forbid, don't call this man that's dressed like a woman a man, because he's going to get all pissed off at you because I'm not a man, I'm a woman. No, you're a man, dude. Sorry, but you're a man, But anyway, like I said, this is all my opinion, but it's just one of those things where I think it's just getting bad, and I really think that we need to be aware. Be aware of what's going on. Watch yourself. If you're that worried about it, just stay out of big crowds for a while. Take a little bit time off of just going out and doing your thing. If you like going to concerts and going to parties and going to whatevers and being out in the crowd and going to these rallies or going to whatever, just either be aware, try to avoid big crowds, especially gun-free big crowds, and just be vigilant, be aware of what you're doing. If you can tote, if you can carry some kind of a weapon, carry some kind of a weapon. That way, you at least have a fighting chance. If you go into some of these big old crowded people's, a church, whatever, some kind of a mass people event, just be ready. If you have some kind of a weapon on you, you've got at least a fighting chance. If it's a gun-free, you don't have a chance. You're pretty much just asking for trouble. And if it does start happening, find your way out. While you're there, find out, okay, if something happens, I'm going down that road, or I'm going this way. If something's coming from that way, I go this way. If something happens that way, I go this way, and then I'm going to, veer around here. And, have your plan. As soon as you get there, start planning your escape, because if trouble starts, you don't want to be there. You want to get away. Anywhere. The best way to avoid SHTF or avoid mass shootings or avoid the problem is don't be where the problem is. Don't be there. If you have to, if it's something like you got to go because that's just what you do, have your escape route, have your plan, have your, if something starts happening, if a mass shooting starts, I'm out that way. Have all your people. Okay, we're going that way. If it's coming from that way, we're going this way or that way or this way, and then we're going to veer around then we're going to veer back around to where we need to be. You know, if our car's that way, but the trouble's coming from that way, we got to head that way, and then we got to kind of veer around. And there's urban evasion videos out there if you need to evade the situation, and you know, if they're after you personally, but just get away, don't be there. You know, it's just, you know, I know if you want to help, but maybe go back after the aftermath and take out your first aid kit and start helping people or whatever. But get away. First things first. Get yourself, get your people, especially if you got your family with you. Get your family safe. Get your family out of harm's way. Then go back and help. If it's directly involving you, that's different. Or if you're right, or if you're like in the middle of it, like you have the potential of being a victim, that's when you need to be vigilant and take action now. Whatever that action is. If it's shoot back, or if it's get away if you can, if there's potential. Because most of the time a lot of these lately have been somewhat targeted. They've been after certain people. And it just so happens to be they're in a big party, big crowd because they know they're going to be there. So they go and they start, but not all of them. Some of them are just random shooting. So if you start hearing random shooting and somebody next to you gets shot, you take off. They're not going to just point at you and shoot you. They could, but just have your plan in place. And again, like I said, things are getting worse, and they're only going to get worse. It's not going to get any better. You know, it's not going to go back to the old days where everybody's fine and there's, you know, it's a peaceful time. It's not going to get back to that like ever. I think any kind of peace on earth is a thing of the past, and it's not going to go back to normal. This is, you know, I think this is the new norm, and we just have to be vigilant, be aware, be, kind of leads me to another topic which isn't on my notes. I did take some notes, but leads me to kind of another topic that, I guess they didn't pass a new law, but they did something with a law where they can kind of go into our social media and take a look at what we're posting. Take a look at what we're talking about. Take a look at who we're talking about. Take a look at our posts and, the FBI and the ATF and stuff like that. They can get in there and they can, they've had some FBI people come and, there was one I saw. The guy came and was just wanting to talk about somebody because he talked to a certain person online. They came to this guy's house because he talked to a certain person online. Of course, the guy did what he was supposed to do, and nope, I'm not talking. He had a camera, and the guy was like, "Would you turn the camera off?" "Nope." What do you need to talk about? "Oh, I'll tell you if you turn the camera off." "Well, I'm not turning the camera off." "Okay, well, so they ended up leaving, but, it's now legal to go through our Facebook. If they're watching somebody, if there's a person of interest, and you happen to talk to that person, you could expect a knock on your door from the FBI and, some kind of law enforcement, some left wing, some corrupt FBI agents or something. So, and like I said, that's the other thing, it's just getting worse. They're starting to take our rights away from us slowly, little by little. Like, who cares who I talk to? They should have a warrant to go through my social media posts. That's why only do Facebook and YouTube. I do YouTube and I do Facebook. That's why I don't have all the Instagrams and, you know, Twitters and, you know, whatever other ones there are. I don't even know them. And I rarely even get on Facebook. I started promoting it a little bit. I was like, oh, hey, I can add Facebook to this thing and we can, you know, but it's like, you know what? It's not worth it. You know, some of the posts you make on it, it's like, they're eventually going to get you. You're eventually going to get a knock on the door from the FBI. Why did you say that? You know what? I said it because that's what I believe. You know, I only say things that I think are true, or that I believe in. That this is my beliefs, my thoughts, my opinions. Everybody else gets theirs. Why can't I have mine? So, and it all kind of depends on what side you're on. You know, if you're on the side of corruption and tyranny, and then they let it fly. You know, see, there's a difference. You can badmouth Trump all day long, and no one will care. No one will care. You could say anything you wanted all day long, anytime. No one would care. No one would say a thing. But when you start talking bad about certain other people, the Obamas, the Clintons, the whatevers, the Bidens, that's when you've crossed the line. So it's like, you know, so I said I don't think it matters who wins. If Biden wins, all hell's going to break loose. If Trump wins, all hell's going to break loose. If we don't have an election because of whatever, then all hell is already broken loose. So it's, you know, like I said, we basically got 3 wars. It's going to turn into 2 very soon. You know, we're at the Russia-Ukraine war, Iran and Israel war is now against Iran and not just Hamas and, you know, Gaza and Palestine. It's against Iran. And now Russia's kind of joining forces with Iran. It's kind of a unfair battle there. It may not be. You know, Iran may have their forces and their weaponry, but they're a teeny tiny little country compared to Iran and compared to Russia. But we thought about that about Ukraine too. Even I thought that. I was like, dude, Russia's going to go in there and they're going to just annihilate them. They're going to just, it's going to be, but it's still going on, what, 2-3 years later? So maybe not. But Ukraine's had a lot of help, you know, from the United States. We've sent a lot of our precious resources and our precious money and our precious guns and ammo and equipment over to Ukraine to help them. Because so it depends on what side we're on, because a lot of our government is split on what side we should help. Some of them are against Israel. You know, we've got the Free Palestine, you know, we've got a new group out there. It's Free Palestine. It's, you know, last time it was Black Lives Matter. This time it's Free Palestine. It's another freaking terrorist organization that is okay because they have a cause that they're fighting about, and they have the right to protest, and they have the right to shut down streets. You know, just a few days ago, they shut down the Golden Gate Bridge. They shut down a big part of San Francisco. It's like chaos coming to a city near you. Get out of the city. That's all I can say. If you live in the city, like if you're worried that if/when something happens, if you're worried that you can't even stay home, like if you think that if you legitimately feel like you can't even stay home, you're going to be overtaken in a hurry, bad guys are going to come tear your door down and light your house on fire. You need to move. Like, you need to really seriously consider moving. It's no joke. You need to really consider moving. I'm in a place where I'd feel safe at home for a while, for a good while. I mean, I'm not really way out of town. I mean, I live in a smaller big city. It's a big county, big area-wise, but it doesn't really have, like, it's like nothing in it. There's like nothing in the county. It's like there's like one major city, and it's not even a major city. It's like, it's tiny. I mean, the biggest metropolitan area, and it's really not even it's not one of the biggest cities in the country. It's just, but I live about a half hour out, half hour away to get to any kind of, hurt my people, so, and most of the town, I'm not saying I'm still kind of new to the town, but most of them are like-minded when it comes to politics, and when it comes to the 2A and the 1A and the freedoms, and we're all, for the most part, we share that same kind of common interest, so I think most of the people at first are going to be good people. If it turns into pandemic 2.0 and it starts going a lot longer term, people start getting hungry because they're unprepared, then it might get a little tougher. But at first, I think everybody's going to kind of come together, and, everybody's going to, you see people walking down the street, they're just, keep an eye on them, obviously. I've got stuff here that I don't necessarily need them coming in and trying to take. But anyway, I think that's good. Kind of got a few things out of the way. We're about a half hour in. Appreciate y'all watching. If you made it this far, appreciate all of you. Love you. Hit that subscribe button. If you like this kind of content, if you like, try to make it kind of a little bit more conversational. I know it's not really a conversation when I'm just talking to a little triangular thing on a tripod, but I'm still trying to kind of get my thoughts. I'm interested in your comments. Leave comments below. Whatever. Tell me I'm an idiot. Whatever. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm right. Agree with me. Disagree with me. That's fine. Legit hater asshole comments will be deleted. So remember that. I mean, I don't care if you give me some constructive criticism, but if you just come right out and you're just an ass, then your comments get deleted. But anyway, hit that subscribe button. Join the channel. I don't have any members yet, but when I start getting some members, I'm gonna do some members only stuff. I might start doing some of that now. That way they've got something to look forward to when they get there. So, but if not, and there's also that super thanks button. Click on that if you'd like. If not, just hit that subscribe button. It costs you nothing. Takes you 2 seconds. Time is money. Takes you 2 seconds. Costs you zero. With the way the economy is, you can't afford anything anymore anyways. So just hit that subscribe button. Costs you nothing. Helps me out a ton. Anyway, appreciate y'all. Love you. And I'll see you in the next one.